Hello, good morning. Yes, today is 15th of February 19. We are at the end of the week. So today there's only one news which you expect, and is, if you can see my screen, we have the one of this just one news that you expect at around 15:00 GMT. So that should be USDU of MICH sentiment. So expect this news at around the time which is here. And that's just by the way. Let's look at what we have for the day. We just want to see if there's anything good on the chart, whatever we need to trade. From Euro USD we'll move to GBP, then USD JPY, and then we look at the last three symbols, which is this, and then the last one. So we start off with the main one, which is Euro USD here. And so far, as we mentioned at the beginning of the week, the price has been doing what we said. From last week, we mentioned that you're supposed to buy from within this zone, and it is true, the price has gone as we mentioned and is now below a key level, which is this. So we said yesterday that as long as the price does not close below 1.1285 by the end of this week, that is by midnight today, then this is going to be a good sell. Basically, we will want price to proceed down, retrace back up, then we pick a sell, and in that sell we expect price to go up to 1.0568. The main reason I'm saying this should be a sell is because from the monthly point of view, this chart is supposed to be heading downwards. Just look at it like that. From the monthly chart, this is what we have. There's a very good trend line from the upper side. From here, price went down, a resistance, it went down, a resistance, then it went down, should come back up. Should price is going down, should get back to this trend line so that we can look for a sell. From this chart setup, the best we should be doing is to look for a sell. We expect price to proceed down, especially as long as it remains below this level, this trend line. You want to trade it, there's a level here where if price fails to close below 1.1240 by the end of this month, then we expect it to pull back upwards and should not go above this level where we're going to look for that sell. So I'm not going to add much on this pair. Whatever we've been looking at all the week has been happening exactly the same way. We'll move forward to the next chart instead. GBP USD there, and I'll just pull out a new chart for this. We start from the monthly point of view. I'm going to explain for the monthly. It looks much more clearer. So look at this chart like this. I have a line here, a very good support from the past. This level has been a support since 1992. While price was here, this was a very good support. It went up, came back to the same place. In the year 2000, 8 years later, it was a support. It was a support. Then price went up, came back to the same place. Now 2008, another 8 years later. Then it went up, came back to the same place. 2015, like this should be 7 years later. It used the same place before we broke below it. Then the same place is now being used as was used as a resistance previously. So this was a very good level from the past. Since 1992, the price has not been able to go below it, apart from this time when it went below it. So as long as the price does not close again above this zone, then this is the best place to sell from. So far, the way the price is now, we want it to pull back up, we want it to get back to this resistance so that we can pick a sell, something like this. I hope this should make some sense. That assuming you want to trade this pair at the moment, then expect it to come back to this place, then you should pick a sell from within this zone, and that buy you should have a take profit here at the lowest place so far we've seen ever since. So we want price to pull back up. We'll pick a sell from that point. With that sell, our stop loss should be above here, and then the take profit should be here. As it is at the moment, if you're an intraday trader, then just watch for price around this level here. From the weekly chart, it looks like this. We have a resistance, there's a break above, a support, it goes above, then a support, there's a false break. So we want price to get back to this level so that we can pick a buy up to the very top. So whoever is trading weekly chart now should know that this is the best place. You should buy from this point, and with that buy you should have your stop loss here, and the take profit should be at the very top. And whoever sells it here should take profits at the lowest place. We should be here. So wait, if you sell it here, your take profit should be here. And if you successfully manage to buy it from 1.2722, then your stop loss should be there, and the take profit should be at the very top. So as we speak, in the course of this month or maybe next month, you should expect a buy from somewhere around 1.2722. We move to the next chart, USD JPY here, and I want to start from the monthly because I already drew it previously like this. I want to explain what I meant when I drew it like this. So the first line is at 113.70, and the next one is 108.68. The reason I have these two lines is because as long as the price does not clearly close either above or below the lower one, then we expect it to remain within this range. So in the course of this month, we don't expect USD JPY to either close below or close above. We want it to remain within this range, continue to consolidate, and the day that it breaks above, then we wait for a retracement before we pick a buy. With that buy, we expect price to go up to here, the very top, and then should price break below, then we expect it to go up to the lowest end, which is here. So these are the places you should check for. Either temporarily you should look for this level, and then in the long run you should look for these ones. These are the key places to look for. We have this, we have this. So we have 108, 101.11, then 108.68, then 113.70, then 124.06. These are the four levels to look for. If price should break above the inner range, then it should retrace back before we pick a buy. And should it break below the lower range, then a retracement before we pick a sell towards 101.11. So I want to check the same chart on the weekly USD JPY. The same information is on the weekly. We have a range here and then here. Then the upper one should be at the very top, not there where I'm having my line at. So if you're on the weekly chart, then probably you ought to have bought here. If you didn't buy, wait for price to retrace back. You're supposed to buy it there, or wait and buy it there. Alternatively, you may also want to sell at the top. Then in the day that price breaks either above or below, then that means you are continuing in the direction of that break. So in case price breaks above this level, then we want it to retrace back before we pick a buy. And because the weekly chart should go up, monthly should go up to 124.47, we want this to retracement, so that you can pick a buy like this. You're on this chart and you're trading it on the weekly chart, just expect, despite whatever is happening now that the price is pulling back down, you should wait and buy from 108.60 or wait and sell from 114.06. And in case price breaks either the upper or the lower, and then expect a move in the direction of that break. So on the upper side, this is what you expect, on the lower side, this is what you expect: a move down, a retracement, then we'll pick a sell indefinitely up to 100.57. So this is the longest. Now this is what you expect to happen. You only focus on the main levels, the main ones. Like in this chart, this is what I'm seeing as the main one, and the next one is this, and then the last one is that. Then I also have this one, and then the very one on the very top. So I hope this should make some little sense. We move to the next chart, which is SP500. SP500, this is what I mentioned yesterday. So from the indicators, I'm not looking at the indicator because we already checked the indicators yesterday. The indicator was giving us an uptrend, so we mentioned that we are only supposed to look for upwards, like any trade that is showing us a clear buy signal. So with that in mind, we mentioned that this is a resistance which price went above. The previous day's candle actually retraced back to it, and now the current day's candle is slightly below this resistance. If you want to trade this correctly, then this should be the correct place to buy from. Yes, stop loss should be below today's lowest low or this candle. Just a second. You should enter buy just as you speak. Have your stop loss below this candle that triggered this breakout. Then your first take profit should be here, and then the next one should be at the very top, 2936.4. So the main reason I'm focusing on a buy on this chart, as I mentioned yesterday, is this, that look at this chart from the monthly point of view, SP500. Just look at it like this. You notice that since 2008 until now, we've been actively upwards. The price goes up, there's just a slight retracement, proceeds up, we see a slight retracement, up, then a slight retracement, up, a slight retracement. It proceeds up, then there's a slight retracement, then we see a move up, a slight retracement, it continues up, then for the first time we've seen a major retracement. So despite this retracement, we still expect price to move up if this was indeed a reversal in trend. If it was true that this was a reversal in trend here, with this move that we saw, this drop and then the next drop, then we don't expect it to go again above this resistance, this support. Instead, it was supposed to remain down so that we could continue to the lower side. But as it appears now, we've actually closed above and we're still heading upwards. The best place to buy this pair is if it can, this index, is if it can close above 2928.7. That may not happen this month or next month, but that time when it goes above and you manage to find that the price has closed above 2928.7, then that will be the correct place to buy from. It will be a buy upwards. You need to look for an active buy to even upwards. So that's why I'm insisting on a buy. From this trend here, we've been upwards, and I'm sure any indicator supports the same. This one, we have ADX is supporting the same uptrend. Then MACD also, just a second, MACD. This one here, you can see we have the columns of MACD above 0.00. All these two indicators in just say the same thing, that the trend is upwards. You're supposed to look for a buy. So that should be it from the monthly. We check it again on the daily chart. I have my charts and I recommend that you should buy it as it is. Buy where the price is now, 2733.1. Your stop loss should be here, and then your first take profit should be here. Then the next one should be here at the very top, 2936.4. We move to the next chart, gold. So gold has closed just perfectly as we mentioned. I hope you can remember we said that the previous week's candle, which was this, was actually an inside pin bar, which indicated that the price is likely to push back upwards. So while price was down here, we recommended you're supposed to have bought it. We said place a pending buy limit here, and then you should have your stop loss, and then the take profit at the very top. If you did the same way you said, then you're supposed to be in money at the moment. Don't get out of this trade. Expect price to proceed even higher, because where we want it to go up to is actually a monthly resistance also. This place here, this is a monthly resistance, and if I want to draw this level correctly, the level should be here. So expect maybe, should price fail to bounce from the resistance, the ones we can see, just a second, should price fail to bounce from this resistance to the lower side, then it may likely go up to this resistance. This is a key one, the one at the very, so we still expect price to move up, let it go up to maybe around this point, 1408.32 or to 1397.46, so that you pick a sell from that point, something like this. So instead of bouncing from the resistance where we had previously, you are likely to see price ending even higher. There's a level here. A resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance. We want price to proceed up to this resistance, and in case it does not bounce from this resistance, then from the one from 1355.64 to 1348.89, then we expect it to proceed up to the next one, which is 1408.32 to 1397.46. These are the correct place to sell from, either sell from this or sell from this one, but as it is now, we only recommend a buy. We expect a sell in the future, but according to what is happening currently, the price is likely to move up, break above this resistance before it heads even higher. So the level where I want price to bounce from, which is the lower one, is also a monthly level. That's why it's significant. Look at it like this. You can see, assuming I push this lower like that, you will see there's a support, then there's a false break up, a resistance, down, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, and we want price to get back to it so that we sell. So in case the price does not bounce from this point to the last side, then the next best place is this, the one at the very top, and I've mentioned this from the weekly point of view. So we move to the last one, the last symbol, which is Brent oil. And with Brent oil, so far no indicator is giving us the correct signal. There is no clear direction from the indicator. We have there's a small case here where somebody may say that this is an uptrend. Yes, it is true, but I don't find that very significant. I want cases where we have the dotted green one completely above the dotted red one, or the opposite. So far from this chart, we have this, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, and we want price to get back to the same resistance so that you can pick a sell. As it is at the moment, this is still a buy. Expect price to stretch upwards towards this point here where we look for a sell. I want to check this chart from the weekly, from the weekly, an indicator. From the weekly, the indicator is not giving us a good trade. We have the main line below 25, which means there's no active trend. So you may not know whether the price is proceeding up or it's going to the last side. From this indicator, we are not going to use it. It may be deceiving at the moment. So we are relying so much on what we said from the monthly point. We expect price to move up on the monthly chart. But on the daily, yes, there's the same thing. Actually, there's a gap up. So somebody's asking me why I'm having this line here and I'm not having it anywhere, the support. The main reason is this. Just observe it from this point, from 2018 1003. There's a move down, then a slight retracement. We moved down, and then there's another slight retracement. Then price continued down, a slight retracement. Then it proceeded down, a slight retracement, down, a slight retracement. Then it proceeded down, and for the first time we saw a main retracement that is bigger than the previous ones. Then for the second time, this is even bigger. So we mentioned while price was somewhere around here that there's a level here. To confirm that the trend is upwards, we need a break above a retracement. So far that has happened. This candle went up, the next one went up, yesterday's candle, and today's candle we expect it to either proceed up or retrace back to the same place before we pick a buy. All this we are doing because we want to remain in tune with the monthly. If the monthly is giving us a buy, then even on this chart we want price to show us a clear buy. We have levels here where we may want to take profit from. This is a good level, just a support, a support, a support. Being broken should be the next place. So this, whatever I'm looking at now, is just a support being broken becomes a resistance. That's why I expect price to come back to it so that I pick a sell. But in case the price does not do that, instead it closes above, then we want it to remain on top. Assuming it does like that, then it should retrace back slightly. Should retrace back slightly before we can pick a buy upwards up to the very top, which is this. So if you look at this from a wider point of view, from a higher point, you can see that this is actually a V, like that. Let me put it up bold, and then there's the next part of the V, which we are currently forming. So this is a clear sign that if this thing holds true, that this is a V, then we expect price to go up to the very top, which is there. So thank you very much. We've looked at just all the pairs we wanted to look at. We also have looked at the other three symbols. We have GBP/USD. We are waiting for a buy from a monthly support. Just a second, I locate that. GBP/USD, we are waiting for a buy from 1.2725. Euro/USD, we want price to either close below 1.1285 so that we sell, or above so that we look for a buy. USD/JPY, we are waiting for a buy. From the weekly point of view, we are waiting for a buy from somewhere here. Then SP500, we are recommending a buy as we speak. Gold, we are still upwards, we recommend a buy. Then Brent oil, we are waiting for a retracement. We want price to retrace up to here so that we can pick a buy. So thank you very much. See you again on Monday.